With Gwyneth being all over the news lately, with fans torn, being labeled as iconic by some and problematic by others, what do her fellow celebrities think? Hey guys, I'm your host Lauren, and today we're going to be counting down the top 10 celebrities that refuse to work with Gwyneth Paltrow. Number 10, Tom Holland. Tom Holland, the star from Spider-Man, shared how his meeting with Gwyneth went. During a trivia game with Pop Sugar, Tom admitted how brokenhearted he was when Gwyneth didn't even know his name after working together. He recalled the meeting by saying, I've worked with Gwyneth one time on Spider-Man Homecoming, which she doesn't remember. He continued by laughing and saying, to this day still breaks my heart. Since their working together was brief, it's clear she didn't think too much of it, after publicly posting that she basically had no clue who Tom Holland was. Tom goes on to share, saying, one time when we were shooting Avengers Endgame, she came up to me and asked me for a photo with me and Robert Downey Jr. Gwyneth went on to post this photo with the caption, happy birthday dear heart, love me and the other guy in the photo. But it seems Gwyneth might not only have problems with names, but with the movies she's been in. While Gwyneth was chatting to John in an episode of The Chef, she appeared to be shocked to learn that she was in Spider-Man at all. She said to John, we weren't in Spider-Man, to which she responded by saying, yes we were, Homecoming, you were in Spider-Man. John went on to say, remember Spider-Man at the end and Tom Holland's there and you're going to walk out and do a press conference? Which seems to jog her memory enough, saying, oh yes, that was Spider-Man? Oh my god. Looks like even if they do work together in the future, Gwyneth still may not remember. Number 9, we have Jessica Alba. Gwyneth has never been one to shy away from her true feelings and telling the public all about them. Back in 2014, she did just that. Coming out with a newsletter called The Dirty on Getting Clean, she shared her opinions on which brands were safe, non-toxic, and environmentally friendly for household cleaning. Gwyneth used this letter to share her true thoughts on Jessica Alba's lifestyle brand, The Honest Company, giving her all-purpose cleaner a C letter grade, writing about Jessica's product saying, may contain ingredients with potential acute, aquatic toxicity, and respiratory effects, nervous system effects as well. Which it seems Gwyneth wasn't the only one to throw shade when Jessica looked to diss Gwyneth's advice. She went on to say, Gwyneth Paltrow probably lives a very similar lifestyle, but I didn't grow up with a bunch of money, so my tips are much more grounded, repurposing things and making things at home. With all that tension appearing to be happening between the two, I can't imagine there'll be a Goop and Honest Company collab anytime soon. Number 8, we have Reese Witherspoon. Though the two seem to be pals nowadays, it hasn't always been that way, especially back in 2006 with Gwyneth publicly shading Reese to The Guardian. She said in the interview, even actresses that you really admire, like Reese Witherspoon, you think another romantic comedy? You see her in something like Walk the Line and think, God, you're so great. And then you think, why is she doing all these stupid romantic comedies? But of course, it's for money and status. Since this comment, it seems the two are on good terms, even with Gwyneth wishing her a happy birthday on her Instagram just this past week. Maybe Reese is more forgiving than others would be after hearing that comment, or Gwyneth said her apologies in private. But what do you guys think about that relationship? Number 7, we have Martha Stewart. Said to be a one-sided iconic feud spanning over a decade. Martha Stewart and Gwyneth Paltrow most likely won't be working together anytime soon. The passive aggressiveness seems to have started around 2013 when Martha made an appearance on Bloomberg television. When asked about Gwyneth and her lifestyle brand Goop, Martha said, I haven't eaten at Gwyneth's house and I don't know how she lives. But if she's authentic, all the better. I certainly hope she is. The passive part of the aggression ended there though. When being profiled by Net, a Porter's magazine in 2014, she spoke about Gwyneth again, saying she just needs to be quiet. She's a movie star. If she were confident in her acting, she wouldn't be trying to be Martha Stewart. Later that same year, Martha made another dig at the star, publishing a Thanksgiving piece titled Conscious Coupling, which was a diss at Gwyneth's announcement at consciously uncoupling her ex-boyfriend Chris Martin. Martha didn't stop there though. During an interview on Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen, Martha revealed her opinion on Gwyneth's vagina smelling candle that is simply called This Smells Like My Vagina. Martha shared, I'm sure it's sold out. She does that kind of thing irritatingly. She's trying to zhuzh up the public to listen to her and that's great, let her do her thing. But I wouldn't buy that candle. Gwyneth hasn't said much about this feud aside from the time she addressed some of Martha's comments back in 2014. She said at the time, no one has ever said anything bad about me before and I'm shocked and devastated. Jokingly adding, I'll try to recover. Number 6, we have Sebastian Stan. Another star that Gwyneth has seemingly forgotten working with, her co-star in the Marvel-verse, Sebastian Stan. The difference between this situation and Tom Holland's is she didn't forget him after one introduction, but 3. After Sebastian posted a photo online of himself, Gwyneth, and a few other high-class individuals. He wrote in the caption, "Thank you for inviting me to my first couture show. Also glad I got to reintroduce myself to Gwyneth Paltrow for the third time," adding, "We were in the same film." When fans began asking about this occurrence, Sebastian came forward to say the comment was more of a jab at himself than anything, adding, "I was just trying to make a joke out of myself, to be honest. We were at this event, and especially at some of the fashion events, for me, I feel a little out of my element." He went on to say, "I went up to her and was like, hey, by the way, I'm Sebastian. She sort of gave me this look and I was like, from Avengers, we met. I'm not sure if she remembered me. It was a weird moment and I was like, oh my god, I've introduced myself to this poor woman a third time. She must think I'm a crazy person." Regardless, it seems Gwyneth just isn't one to remember superheroes, apparently. Number 5, we have Madonna. Both Madonna and Gwyneth were riding high in the late 1990s thanks to Gwyneth's performance in Shakespeare in Love and Madonna's hit album Ray of Light. But it seems the two, regardless of how much they had in common at the time, didn't end up being friends forever. During an interview with British Vogue, Gwyneth revealed a situation she was having with a friend, saying, "I'm having a situation where I'm feeling pretty angry." Rumors were circulating that Madonna wasn't being very nice to Gwyneth's good friend and trainer Tracy Anderson. An insider shared that same year that their relationship had been a bit on the rocks, revealing, "I can't tell you exactly why they had a falling out, but Gwyneth can be jealous and competitive." Speculation continued to grow that Gwyneth was holding a bit of grudge after Madonna fired Tracy, who was their shared trainer. During an interview with The Telegraph not long after, Gwyneth explained that she was happy Madonna wasn't working with the trainer anymore, saying, "Yes, it's good that Tracy doesn't train Madonna anymore. It was just too much. She keeps people waiting and it takes up your whole day." Things really seemed to come to a head though with the stars during the 2013 Met Gala, when Madonna allegedly snubbed her former friend. A source close to the two that night told the press, "Madonna chatted with Beyonce for most of the evening and didn't even glance at Gwyneth. Everybody talked about it." Not long after, it looked as though Gwyneth hit back during an interview when asked who had the best abs between the two. She said at the time, "Why rub it in? Let's face it, I'll Polaroid my abs right now and text them to her." Regardless of what the true reason was for their break in a friendship, it seems the mutual dislike has lasted this long between the stars. Number 4, we have Graydon Carter. Graydon Carter was an editor and journalist for Vanity Fair from 1992 to 2017, and during that time he had plans to allegedly expose Gwyneth. Rumors began circulating in 2013 that in the March issue of the editor's letter, Vanity Fair was going to publish an expose on Gwyneth. The article was set to include her alleged infidelity, friend breaks, and much more. The New York Times reported at the time that Gwyneth was calling all of her friends, asking them not to speak to Vanity Fair for this upcoming story. Graydon assigned a writer to the piece saying, "It was just what had been assigned, a reasoned, reported essay on the hate-love fest that encircles Gwyneth Paltrow. I thought it perfectly explained the whole phenomenon." But it seems it wasn't as juicy as he wanted it to be, saying it was a far cry from the almost mythical story that people were now expecting. "The epic takedown filled with bombshell revelations I decided to sit on for a while." After taking some time to think about it, the editor decided it wasn't enough to please the anti-Gwynethites. Even though it wasn't published in the end, I can't imagine Gwyneth was too pleased about the threat. Number 3, Kate Moss. Kate Moss and Gwyneth Paltrow never seemed to have any publicized disagreements in the past, even looking to be pretty close when they were in their 20s. But that all seemed to change in 2012. During Sir Philip Green's birthday celebrations in Mexico, the two allegedly went head to head. It is reported that Kate asked Gwyneth why she was out jogging, to what she responded by saying, "So I don't look like you when I get old." It's claimed that Kate then threw her chips at the star and shouted, "Why don't you eat some effing carbs?" The insider told the press, "The spat was a talk of dinner. Everyone was having a giggle about it." Not long after the story became public, a spokesperson for Gwyneth told the press, "There's no such fight. This is all a fabrication." Though the two seem to have known each other for quite some time, they don't really look like they move in the same circles. And at number 2, we have Winona Ryder. Winona and Gwyneth were reportedly very tight back in the 90s, even dating Ben Affleck and Matt Damon, who were best friends at the time, making for some pretty iconic double dates I can imagine. But that all seemed to come crashing down after some pretty intense allegations. The story goes that when Gwyneth came to visit her friend's house, she spotted the script for the film Shakespeare in Love. Allegedly, after seeing the role and falling in love with it, she went behind Winona's back and contacted her agent to get an audition for the leading role. This of course caused major tension between the stars, as it was reported that Winona was set to get the role before her former BFF was cast. To put salt in the wound, the movie won Best Picture at the Academy Award, and Gwyneth received an Oscar for Best Actress. When asked about these allegations in 2015, Gwyneth said in an interview, "I swear to God I did not. I'm raising my right hand on the Bible, I swear to God." She also confirmed that the two hadn't seen or spoken to each other much over the years, claiming that her former friend's jealousy caused caused her to make up lies. Even in a 2009 Goop newsletter, Gwyneth came out with a post titled "Evil Tongue and Living in Negativity." In the post, she referred to a frenemy who is set on taking her down. Of course, many assumed this had to be related to Winona. Gwyneth wrote, "I was deeply upset, I was angry, I was all those things you imagine when you find out someone you thought you liked was venomous and dangerous." Though she never confirmed who she was talking about, I think the answer seems pretty clear. And at number 1, we have Simon Stevens. Simon Stevens, the NHS England chief executive, is not a fan of Gwyneth and her brand Goop. Simon is definitely someone you would want on your side when you're releasing a new series all about your lifestyle brand on Netflix. After checking out her series, Simon shared his opinions on what he calls dubious wellness products and dodgy procedures. During a talk at an academic event, Simon said, "Her brand peddles psychic vampire repellent, says chemical sunscreen is a bad idea, and promotes colonic irrigation and DIY coffee enema machine, despite them all carrying considerable risk to the health." Netflix came out with a statement about this series saying, "The series is designed to entertain, not provide medical advice." Along with this, a spokesperson for Goop said, "It is transparent when we cover emerging topics. They may be unsupported by science, and they may be in early stages of review." Regardless, Simon made it clear he believes the whole thing is spreading misinformation. I definitely can't imagine he's the biggest fan of the star after that talk. Well, that's all we have for you guys today. Let us know in the comments below what you think of these feuds, and we'll see you guys in the next one.